Years ago, when I worked as legal counsel for the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, we occasionally pulled all-nighters reconciling the House and Senate versions of a bill. Inevitably, we haggled over the wording, each side trying to preserve the language that would please our respective bosses. One evening, as we were toiling over a bill that contained provisions on foreign aid, human rights, and arms sales of keen interest to the State Department and Pentagon, I set off through the Warren-like offices of the Rayburn Building in search of coffee. Opening the wrong door, I was surprised to find a State Department lawyer sitting at a desk in front of a typewriter. He should have been at home, in bed, but here he was, typing away, writing language that he was quietly slipping to the House staffers, who presented it as their own. Back then, even then, the influence of national security bureaucrats pervaded the lawmaking process. They drafted legislation that members of Congress introduced. They endorsed or opposed measures at hearings and markups. They presented views to conference committees that were laid out next to the House and Senate positions. They lobbied tirelessly, waiting outside the chambers during the floor debates, ready with arguments and data to back them up, pushing to inscribe their positions into law. I was reminded of that experience when reading the Twitter files and the opinion of the Federal District Court in Missouri v. Biden. In that case, the states of Missouri and Louisiana joined several private plaintiffs who sought to bar the federal government from encouraging, pressuring, or inducing the major social media platforms to suppress constitutionally protected speech. The court handed them an initial victory on July 4, 2023. In issuing a preliminary injunction, the court found that the United States government seems to have assumed a role similar to an Orwellian Ministry of Truth. It detailed the evidence: opposition to COVID-19 vaccines, opposition to COVID-19 masking and lockdowns, opposition to the lab leak theory of COVID-19, opposition to the validity of the 2020 election, opposition to President Biden's policies, statements that the Hunter Biden laptop story was true, and opposition to policies of the government officials in power. All were suppressed. In these and other areas, the court found, the government coerced, significantly encouraged, or jointly participated in the platform's censorship. Government officials used meetings and communications with social media companies to pressure those companies to take down, reduce, and suppress the free speech of American citizens. They flagged posts and provided information on the type of posts they wanted suppressed. They also followed up with directives to the social media companies to provide them with information as to action the company had taken with regard to the flagged post. This seemingly unrelenting pressure had the intended result of suppressing millions of protected free speech postings by American citizens.